All right. So I'm recording, and then after the class, I'll upload it to YouTube, and then as an unlisted video. As soon as it's on YouTube, then I'll email you the class video so you can go over it later. The first thing I'm going to go over is all the waxes that I'm going to be using. The places that you're going to be going to get the wax. Susan?
Yeah.
Are you able to get things shipped from candlewick.com?
I just tried whatever.
Aztec, yeah.
Yeah, I just ordered some fragrance from them, and it didn't ship out already. And Fleximold took a month to get here. Just got it. So I don't know. I have to try and see if I can get something from Candlewick, but it'll take a long time to get here.
Okay.
Well,
but you are able to order ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's perfect because I just found out that Candlewick has pretty much everything that I use.
Okay.
So you can just do a one-stop shop at Candlewick. Just order a whole bunch, and then when it comes in, just, keep an eye on your inventory, and then when it gets low, you can reorder.
Okay, I'll go to their site later on and see what I could get there.
Okay, and then here, I'm actually going to share my screen and then show you guys what to order and where to go to on the website.
Cool. But all your fragrance comes from Aztec?
Yes.
Okay, great.
But if you are having trouble with Aztec, I sent you that contact. All right, so I sent you that contact of that company in Island Escape Fragrances in Canada.
Yeah, but they don't have the fragrances that you use.
Well, she just sent me a whole bunch of free samples.
Okay.
So I could try them out, and I got like 15 of them.
Okay.
And I'm going to be creating a candle for each scent.
Okay.
Like one of them is like blue dreamsicle, creamsicle. Another one's like I don't know. They're not. Some of them aren't food related, but I'm pretty creative.
Okay. So maybe you can send me the list that she sent you, and I can order some from her.
Yeah, let me make the candles first.
Okay.
Just to see, if it's even feasible or possible.
Okay, because I looked at her site. It looks good, but it's like a lot of things. It's
yeah, she sent me like fluffiest towels, and I'm like, how the heck am I gonna get that in a food?
Oh, well, anyways, we'll just see. Well, I'll have to just order more from the States. That's all.
Okay.
And wait for the dollar to go up a bit because the exchange is ridiculous.
Is it? I don't even have any clue.
Oh yeah, you have to really. Wow. I have to really control it because it's ridiculous how much the exchange is there. It's like, whoa. But anyways, it's okay. It's worth it.
Right. Okay. All right, let me go out to that website. You guys got your notebooks?
Yep.
All right, so I added this to the class, and everybody liked it, but I ran over because I went over all the stuff first so you could take notes, and then I started making my pies, and then I ran over, and I couldn't finish my pie. So I gotta go through this super quick. Just take notes, and then if you miss anything, just watch the video afterwards.
Okay.
Share screen. Where's my there we go. All right, so I'm on candlewick.com.
Okay, great.
And so the first thing you want to do is you want to go to the candle waxes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go over the soy waxes first. Soy waxes, if you're not familiar with any soy waxes, I would recommend getting the sampler. The sampler will get you the C3, the 444,
Okay.
which is the soy wax that I like. I like the 444. Has the 125 and the Cargill. 125, C3, and 444. Those three are actually really good soy waxes. They're not like the 100% all natural and no additives, but because they have the additives, they have less frosting.
Okay.
And smoother tops. They're creamier.
Okay, and they're out of stock.
Out of stock, yeah. Okay, so yeah, you'll have to wait until that gets back in stock. So you can get C3. I actually used C3 for a really long time before I used 444. C3 is actually a good wax. I really like it.
Okay.
So if you get a sample from somewhere and you like it, yeah, go ahead, go for it. Go for it. I really like C3. I haven't tried Elite 300, so that's on you. 415, I have tried 415, and what it is a lot of candle makers like to go all natural, and 415 has like 0 additives.
Okay.
Like 100% soy wax, that's it. Nothing else. So it does tend to frost a lot, and it's really fickle. So even if you try to fix the candles with a heat gun, you'll have trouble. You have to like do it three, 4 times.
Okay.
But if you want to advertise all natural, that's the way to go. You can also use 415 to mix with paraffin. So if you want to make your own blend, make your own blended wax. What you do is you take about 75% of the 415 and then 25% of whatever paraffin that you like.
Okay.
I'll tell you which one I like, but whatever paraffin that you go with, and then you can make your own blend. You can experiment with different percentages, and if you like the consistency, go with it. And that's one of the things I really like about candle making and all the different types of wax is you can literally, even though there's millions and millions of people out there making candles, you can literally make a very for sure unique candle based on your creations of blended waxes. So all right, I go with 444. A lot of people do go with 464, but I don't like it because it's not very consistent. Sometimes you'll get frost, sometimes you won't. Sometimes you'll get these granulated looks, and then sometimes you don't. So I just don't like 464. It's like it's a fickle animal.
Okay.
Fickle
One
animal.
question. If I can get the 415 and the 464 in Canada, what one would be the best for me to go with then?
Well, it depends, because if you're doing pies,
Yeah.
either one's fine. Because
Okay.
you're only using the soy wax for the pie filling, and then you're gonna put all the toppings on. Nobody's gonna be seeing the soy wax anyway. So,
Okay.
but if you're doing a pina colada where it's all soy and nothing but soy, I would use the 464 because it has the additives.
Okay.
And it looks better. All right. I like the 444 because it's more consistent. It has additives, and yeah, it goes really good with 6006 when I combine it. And yeah, so that's soy wax. And then next thing you need to go to is the paraffin wax.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so paraffin waxes, they basically, there's unrefined paraffin wax, and then there's refined paraffin wax.
Okay.
And sometimes you'll go to a supplier and they'll say, yeah, this is a container paraffin wax, but it's not a true paraffin wax. They blend it with like soy wax and other things, and then they call it paraffin, then don't tell you, hey, there's soy wax in it. So be careful of the word blended.
Okay.
When you're getting you'll need just paraffin, especially doing food candles, because all your embeds are going to be straight paraffin. Your ice cream is going to be paraffin, all that stuff. So you want to keep away from the blended when you're buying just paraffin. Now for the melt points, any one of these paraffins are good to use.
Okay.
The 126, 132, the 140. This number right here is actually the identifier, the 3032, 3134, 4144, and 4045.
Okay.
That's the identifier. These melt points is saying, okay, so this is what temperature they melt at. And so if you're going to be doing a lot of local selling, or if you're just making them for a hobby, and you're not going to be shipping them, then I would go with the really low melt point wax because it's a lot easier to work with.
Okay.
Now, if you're going to be just shipping, doing an online business, and you're going to be shipping, and you know this, you're going to be shipping in like hot weather,
Okay.
then you want to go with the 155. I would stay away from the 160. I go for the 155, but you can go with anything. I like to go with the 155 melt, the 50-55.
Okay.
All right, so that's paraffin wax, and then for your blended wax,
Okay.
custom blends. So you go to custom blends.
Okay.
I actually don't know too much about these.
Okay.
They are all a combination, and I think the best one, let's see. I think I need to do some research on this before I tell you guys to get this.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna do some research on this.
Okay.
The coconut apricot, I have tried that. That's actually pretty good. But for a blended wax, the go-to wax that I go to for is 6006. IGI 6006, and it sucks that you can't get that on this site because then they'd have everything. But so let's see. All right, so IGI 6006, you can get it at Candle Science, you can get it at Lone Star, you can get it at where do you get yours, Susan?
Oh, in Canada. I found a place in Ontario that they have Village Crafts.
Village Crafts? Okay, yeah, I really like them.
Yeah, yeah. I found them there, and they have just the 606. The other soy is Millennium, and we have Freedom, but I don't. They don't specify if it could be like a 646, 444, whatever. So I asked her, Susan, that was there, and
Uh,
she says it would be perfect, but it's like, oh, I don't know.
yeah, go ahead and try it because so you're gonna be doing
Cupcakes, pies, and cakes. That's what I'm interested in, not the drinks.
no
It's just,
drinks,
no, because I want to go into all the orchards and the boutiques where
right?
they don't have the drinks, so I'm contacting these people.
So
And
that's actually perfect for you trying new soy waxes because the soy wax you're going to be using paraffin mostly, and the soy wax is going to be like underneath and mixed in. And so, yeah, go ahead and try that. Try it
so I'll
when
try out
you
the
yeah
free.
when you get your hands on pie crust, if you make it yourself or buy one or whatever. Um, yeah, go ahead and order like maybe 4 or 5 pounds or something like that, and do it in your pies. Do
Okay,
light one up, and then see how well the hot throw is.
okay, great. Well, she'll be happy to hear that.
Yeah, I bet. All right, so 6006 is my go-to for my blended. So you have three different waxes that you'll go with food candles. It's the soy wax, the paraffin, and then the blended, which I go with 6006.
Okay,
You can try other ones if you have the resources to, buy from different places and try other ones. That's it's preference.
okay,
Wax is definitely preference. As long as you know like the different types of wax and what you can do with them, it's unlimited what you can do with them. So
okay, great.
if you're in the States, Cynthia, you're in the States, right?
Yes, I normally use Lone Star for my 6006.
Lone Star? Okay. Do you have a Hobby Lobby and a Michaels nearby?
Yes.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, uh, this is what I do. I go and get the 40% discount at Hobby Lobby, and then I get their general purpose paraffin wax, and it works perfect for what I do. It it's just fine. Quality's great, and 40% off. It's $16 per 10-pound slabs, and you don't have shipping. You can't beat that. Can't beat that. So
That
then
is a good.
for the refined paraffin, and I'm going to show you in a little bit what I use this for, but the refined paraffin you can get at Michael's. This is what it looks like.
Mhm.
Comes in 1 pound blocks. Each block is 1 pound. But if you go to Michael's and get 20% discount, let's see, it's like $26 minus 20%, and then obviously you don't have the shipping, so it's a really good price for the refined paraffin. Refined paraffin I use for all my ice creams, all the toppings, and I don't use it for embeds because it doesn't hold color, and it has a really low melt point, so that whenever I mix it with the gel wax kind of like melts the refined paraffin, so I can't use it. I can't use it for the embeds, but I can use it for the ice cream. Ice cream is really good. And I love the white color to it. You don't have to add like white dye. You don't have to add soy. You don't have to add anything. The white color to it and the consistency is perfect for ice cream because the ice cream usually comes on like a scoop and on top of the candles, and it's where the wick is. And what it does is, since it is paraffin, it releases a better cold throw and it releases a better hot throw, and also slows down since my pies aren't very tall.
Okay.
So whenever you burn a pie, they burn very fast, and this slows it down. If you use soy wax, the wick would go straight through the soy wax super fast.
So then all your ice cream scoops and that you make ahead of time with that wax only?
Yes, I make all my ice cream scoops with this wax, and if you don't have Michael's,
We have it. I ran out and got it.
awesome. It works for the molds, the ice cream molds. It works for the melted ice cream that you put on top. It works for all that.
Okay, great.
Whenever I do run out of paraffin, like now, because I have so many freaking orders. Oh my goodness. I know it's a good problem to have, but I swear, every time I get 5 orders done, I get 8 more. And
Well,
I can't get my orders down below 25.
I was going to wish you 200.
What?
I was going to wish you 200.
Wish me 200 orders?
Uh-huh.
It's called a blessing.
Well, yeah.
Are you looking for a job?
I'm in Canada. I said I would give you free time, 3 months, no pay. You can have it, but I can't get there.
If I got 200 orders, I'm hiring you. I don't care where you are.
Okay.
You too, Cynthia. You're hired. All right. Let me show you. Now that I got the waxes taken care of. Oh, Wix. All right, Wix is next. So. When you're, let's see, candle making. All right, so they got a lot of things here. There's a big learning curve with candle wick. So when you start making the candles and start using these wicks, it'd be a good idea to get a sample pack from them, or just get like a bunch of different kinds. And then what you can do is you can get little shot glasses, and this is what I do. I get little shot glasses and I put each wick in each one.
Okay.
The shot glasses are about 3 inches in diameter. And I test all the wicks to see, you know, what they look like, how fast they burn, if the wick needs trimming, if they mushroom. And I use it. I do like 3 different tests for each wick. I do the paraffin, the blended, and the soy. Be a good idea to do that if you're gonna start ordering wicks from a certain company. And then once you get a wick that you like, stick with it.
Right.
The wicks that I like, there's so many wicks out there and so many different things that you can do with wicks. It gets confusing. So to simplify it for me, I have a system where it's like I have a go-to wick for small, medium, large. And there's 2 type of wicks that I go with. I go with the eco
Okay.
cotton, and it's braided. And then I also go with a zinc core. And there's special situations for each type of wick. You can go to the custom builder and you can put in dimensions of your candle, and it'll have like a suggestion. But I did it once and it gave me a bad suggestion, so I don't do it. But some people like swear by it, so I don't know. You can do your own wicking. You can get the spools. They have eco wick spools.
Okay.
Or you can get the CD series if you like. If you want, the CD series actually I heard is pretty good. I haven't used them before, but I heard is pretty good because they don't need trimming. They're self-trimming.
Oh.
Whenever you get like a candle and you see the wick like drop off into the melt pool,
Mm,
that's a CD wick.
okay.
The wicks that I go with is okay. You make your own, get the spool and the tab separate, and it's pretty easy to make your own. Or you can go to the standard candle wick assemblies,
Mhm.
and they have the CD wicks. They have their own custom wick RRD. I've never tried those, and I've never heard anything in our DIY group about them. So,
Okay.
but I have heard a lot about the CDs. A lot of people use those. They haven't. They have this. I actually want to try this. I want to try the hemp wicks. They have hemp wicks. I want to try this.
No.
But the ones I go for is the Eco. I haven't ever even tried the 14, the 12, and 10s because these three that I usually go with, the 1, 2, and 4,
Okay.
are good for all the candles that I have. And then if I have like gel wax or all paraffin candle, then that's when I go to the zinc core.
Okay.
And 8-inch. Okay, I have tried the LX series. I don't like those. All right, so here are the zinc core wicks.
In your pies there, you're using a gel and paraffin and soy. Do you go with the zinc or you go with the eco?
I've done both, but I like the zinc actually it burns hotter.
Oh, okay.
So it burns, yeah, you get a really good hot throw, but the candle doesn't last very long.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I go with the ecos on that. You can go with the zinc, and the
No, but
flame's just fine. It's just it goes through it. It's like super fast.
okay, so you go with the eco then.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep. The 3-inch pies I go with Eco 1.
Okay.
The 5-inch pies I go with the Eco 2 with two wicks.
Okay.
And then if I have a really tall whipped cream dollop that 2 wicks doesn't look good,
Mm-hmm.
I will go with the one wick for the Eco 4, and I'll put it right in the middle of the whipped cream dollop.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't burn as good, but it looks better. And my fruit candles, that's priority number one. I want my fruit candles to look good.
Okay.
All right, so my small, medium, and large is 60, 51, and 44.
Okay.
And if 60 is not big enough for you, you can go to 62.
Okay.
60 is large, 51 is medium, 44 is small.
Okay.
Yeah. and I use, if I'm doing all gel, like an all gel candle, then I'll use zinc. If I'm using all paraffin, and it's a big candle, like the 8-inch pies that I'm going to be doing today, then yeah, that I use the zinc as well.
Okay.
All right, so that's wicks. Any questions on the waxes or wicks?
Nope.
No.
All right, the next is dyes, candle making, candle dyes. I go with color blocks. I go with blocks. I really like how blocks work because if I get another pink spot on my shirt, I'm gonna go outside and I'm gonna vacuum my driveway. I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna pull my hair out. I hate liquid dye. Yeah, it's better to use liquid dye in gel wax, but I do just fine with the dye blocks. It looks just fine. I get the right colors. I get the right consistency. I have had no problems with it. So yeah, the only thing that I use liquid dye for is what I'm going to show you with the making the embeds and the crust look realistic. That's the only thing I use liquid dye for.
Okay.
All right, so for the block dice, the pies, for the crust, you want to get a cream, this cream right here.
Cream. Okay.
You only want a little tiny bit of the cream, and then you want to put a little bit of brown as well. And wow, they're at. Maybe I should stop promoting them.
Ah.
I'm putting them behind. You want to get black because you'll be, if you want a really dark color like a dark red or dark blue, you'll be adding black to it. Obviously, you'll get cherry if you're doing cherry pie. Burgundy also works for cherry pies.
Okay.
I really like the burgundy color for the pie filling, and then I use the cherry color for the gel on top.
Okay. How about the ivory?
It's like a yellowish brown.
Okay.
I haven't found a use for it yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I like how the cream looks. It's like a tan. It has like a you know what raw dough looks like.
Okay.
It has that color, but the ivory it's like a yellowish. It's a little too yellow for me.
Okay.
You may like it.
No.
I like the lemon yellow.
Okay.
Rather than the regular yellow. Obviously, you'll need peach for if you're making peach pies. You'll need orange because peach, that color is actually a different. It's a certain hue of orange.
Okay.
So if you do a whole bunch of yellow and then a little bit of orange, you'll get a peach color.
Okay.
So if this peach is too dark, then that's what you can do. You use yellow and then use just less orange.
Okay.
Red's good for strawberry. Ruby red's also good for strawberry. It's a little purplish for me, but so I like the red, but you can also use ruby red. Rust brown is good for a really dark, a dark colored crust. You know those pies that you see at the grocery store, and they have like a really dark, well-baked crust.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't want to paint your crust, then go ahead and get the rust brown and go ahead and do the darker color with the rust brown. I usually, for my crust, I only use a little tiny bit of cream and a little tiny bit of brown because I know I'm going to be painting them.
Okay.
So I just want that undertone of a tan. But if I'm not painting them, then I do want a darker color. Otherwise, it's just going to look like a raw doughy pie.
Okay.
So I use that. Sunshine yellows, that's good. And then white. So that white does the opposite of black. So if you want a lighter color, you can add white. If you added to, that's one thing you can do if you add too much of something.
Okay.
And you got your red's too dark, you can add some white.
Okay.
And that's for the block dyes. If they're out in Candlewick, Lone Star is good. I sometimes get some from Candle Science. Hobby Lobby, I'm actually warming up to the Hobby Lobby chips. They have some really highly concentrated dyes, block dyes they're like snap bars. They're like snap bars that they have, and you only need a little tiny bit. I also get I get brown and black from Aztec, the liquid dye. Okay, let me go over what liquid dyes you'll need for the pies. You'll need a yellow, and you'll need a brown. And the reason why you need those two is because you're going to be making an amber color. And how to make amber is you do about 80%, actually about 95% yellow and 5% brown. For brown, I sometimes get a rust brown to dye my to do the painting on the crusts. Instead of then I mix the rust brown. Instead of a regular brown, I do the rust brown because it already has a little bit of yellow in there. And then I will mix that with the yellow instead of the brown, and it sometimes looks good. Okay. You want this yellow right here, and then new brown right here. New brown is like the best brown out of every company that I've ordered from. And by the way, do not get brown from Candle Science because they are colorblind. They have no idea what brown looks like. I've tried at least 5 different types of brown that Candle Science has, and none of them look right. This new brown, you can use it for chocolate, you can use it for your crust, you can use it for pretty much everything. It's such a good brown. I love it. And I don't think Lone Star has it, but so you might just want to get like one thing from Candlewick and then get the rest of your stuff from Lone Star. But yeah, that's the only liquid dyes. I sometimes get blue. The reason why I get blue is because if you are making like blueberries, if you're making your own blueberries, okay, the block dye does not get it dark enough for the really dark color that I like for the blueberries. And the liquid dye just enhances it. I hate getting it, but I do really like the outcome of the blueberries when I use the blue liquid dye. Okay. All right, so we got wax wicks dye, and then fragrances is Aztec. Another good place to get fragrances is Nature's Garden. I've gotten some fragrances from Lone Star. They're good, but I swear by Aztec.
Okay.
I've been using them for 2 years and I have no complaints, except their cinnamon vanilla. That's the only one that I have a problem with. And I actually get it from Candle Science, and I hate that I have to get it from Candle Science because I hate Candle Science. I love Candle Science's videos and I love their excitement and I love their information, but I hate their shipping costs. I hate their dyes, and their shipping costs are outrageous. I have an account with UPS, and the corporate, I know the corporate prices for shipping and how much the boxes can go up to. The boxes can go up to 70 pounds. And I know the prices. They're charging almost triple the normal corporate prices.
Eesh.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh, Aztec fragrances. That's what I was doing.
Right.
I really like Aztec. You wouldn't believe how many 1 ounce samples I have.
Yeah.
I had to clean out my whole cabinets, get like all my dishes out and everything. I have all my top cabinets are all filled completely with all 1 ounce fragrance samples. I really like this 5 for 5. So I'll do my normal ordering and then I'll do this code for 5 for 5. And it's like a 50% off discount for 5 ounces of fragrances.
Okay.
And you get to try new stuff. I love trying new stuff. I get so excited when I get a fragrance shipment in. All right, so the actual fragrances that I go with, I start out with the food and baking. For the, all right, I'll just go through them real quick. Baked apple pie, the absolute best apple pie fragrance in the world. This is awesome, and it goes so good. It combines so good with real cinnamon. If you put real cinnamon sticks in it and you put real ground cinnamon in it, the apple pies and the apple crisps are heavenly. I'm gonna go through the main ones. Obviously, like I don't have a banana cream pie, but I smell this and it smells good. And if you want to make a banana cream pie, go for it. I'm gonna go through the normal ones. Okay, so blueberry. Don't get the normal blueberry. Get the blueberry cobbler. It smells so much better. Even if you're just doing a blueberry pie, the blueberry cobbler still smells better.
Okay.
And that goes for the something else too. Oh, I get both of these, chocolate and chocolate brownie. I gotta think pies. I gotta think pies. Indian nutmeg is good if you're making a spice pie. Oh, raspberry. Raspberry, that's what I was thinking about. The regular raspberry doesn't smell good at all. I don't like it.
Okay.
I get the black raspberry vanilla, and it's so smooth. I like it.
Okay.
Southern pecan is the absolute best pecan scent that you can get. I sometimes get strawberry shortcake. There's 3 different peaches that you can get. You can get peach nectar, peaches and cream, and Georgia peach. And Georgia peach is the absolute best. All right, so apple. Oh, strawberry. Regular strawberry, that's fine. Go strawberry, cherry. Regular cherry is good. The black cherry does not. Their black cherry does not mix well with gel wax.
Okay.
So I get the regular cherry. All right, so strawberry, cherry, blueberry, cobbler, blackberry, raspberry, vanilla, black raspberry vanilla. That's what it is. And then Georgia peach. Blueberry cobbler and hot apple pie. Yeah, those are all the main ones that I go with. And you can experiment and do your own thing. All right. That's fragrances. Any questions on that?
Nope.
No.
No.
Oh, last but not least, before we get to the fun stuff, silicone molds. All right. These are all the molds that I use for my pies. We have the 3-inch,
Okay.
and it's a good idea to split it. If you're not familiar with molds, it is a good idea to split the harder ones to get out. If it's hard to get out, then you split it. Like this one is so, I make this one really thin, so it's really easy to get out, so I don't even need to split this. Cupcakes, I use a cupcake mold for pies. The only reason is because that whipped cream dollop in the middle is awesome to put on pies. If you're doing like an a la mode, like I do it with like the peach. The peach one is one of my best sellers, and I'll do a peach cobbler, and then I'll do a big whipped cream dollop in the middle. And I don't hand pipe it. I get a perfect dollop every time when I use a cupcake mold.
Okay.
I have 2 different sizes of molds. I have the small,
Okay.
square, and then I have the rectangle. And these are all for the fruits, any of the nuts, peaches, the bananas, apples. Apples and peaches are actually the same. Actually, I'm going to change those up. In September, my apples and peaches look like this right now. It's the same design for fruit slice, and that's what I've been using forever. But now that I can make my own silicone molds, I'm gonna get real peaches and real apples, and I'm gonna play around with them. And actually, the real peaches, I did one for myself, and they look awesome. They look awesome. But September, I'm gonna come out with those. But for now, I'm just gonna go with the fruit slices. So the 2 different styles I have is the small flat and the big large flat. And those are, if you go on thecandlechef.com, they're under custom silicone mold. And one says small, one says large. But those are the sizes. And you just put it in the box, whatever you want. As long as it's not more than an inch tall, I can do it in these molds.
Okay.
This one's actually double the thickness of these, so I have to make these separate, and they're a little bit more. But if you go out on the market right now, you cannot find a silicone mold for ice cream scoops
No.
that has more than like 1 or 2.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah. So I got tired of waiting. I got tired of waiting for my ice cream. I was like, I want more ice cream. So I made a huge ass mold with 8 ice cream scoops in there. I was like, yes, that's what I want. That's what I'm gonna sell.
Okay. I
A little
want
bit
one
more
with an
expensive,
apple
but I
pie,
think it's worth, huh?
apple pie slices, but thin slices that we could put, because you see apple tarts there with a lot of
Yes.
literally thin there, and they're put on there.
Yep.
Is that something you might be able to make?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, I'll
In the
custom.
custom one, just put down, hey, just make really thin slices.
Okay, that's what I'll do. Okay.
That's actually a really good idea. So like when you're doing like large pies or something like that, you can like layer them,
Okay, yeah.
all the way around and do like a little spiral. You know how you can stack them to where
Okay.
they're like stacked on each other in a
Yeah.
circle. You
Okay,
can't do that with
AJ, add
that.
that on before you ship me. Add that on to my list.
Yeah, I have so many orders right now. My mind's going like nuts. You'll have to send me a message to remind me.
I
Okay.
will, but I don't want you to ship until everything's. We'll hold on to shipping for now there until everything's done that I want.
Just send me a message uh, in class. So
Okay,
I'm not shipping out until Tuesday anyway. So,
okay.
all right. So that's the pie crust. And this is the special feature. You guys are yesterday's class and today's class. I had a lot of people in yesterday's. Today was like all the people that actually somebody was really mad at me for not giving her the code for yesterday, and which I did. She just didn't get the email. I don't know why, but so I was like, well, do you want a refund or do you want to come tomorrow? And she said, I want to come tomorrow, and she's not here. But you guys are in for a treat.
Yay.
I have not released this information yet. This is the 8-inch. This is a monster. This is the 8-inch lattice pie crust.
Yeah.
It's a monster. That's a lot of silicone. But yeah, that's the crust mold. And the information that I'm releasing is I now have this available. After this weekend, starting Monday, I now have the 8-inch lattice pie silicone mold available. Yeah, I just got a new shipment of a lot of silicone. I didn't want to start selling it until I had a lot of silicone. I just got the shipment in this weekend, so I'm going to release it this weekend. I'm so happy.
Yay. Don't ship me. I'm going to be ordering more molds.
Okay. So when you're filling up the pie crust, you want to do 80% paraffin and 20% soy wax. You're not going to be using any 6006 or blended wax in this. Just straight. You're going to be blending. You're basically blending your own wax. And then after you put the 80-20 or 70-30, either way is fine. You'll want to do a little bit of brown and a little bit of cream. And what I do, because we're making pies, is I will put cinnamon vanilla. You can also do Grandma's Kitchen, that smells good. You can do just cinnamon or just vanilla. But all those smell really good. And it enhances whatever fragrance that you use. I'm gonna move this until the end. My goal is to get a really nice pie into this.
Good. Okay.
Come on, camera. Go to your home. All right. Time to have some fun. We're gonna make some pies. Why don't you sit on me? I just got wax on me. I have no idea how. All right. Here's the mold. You'll want to use, the reason why you're using the 80% paraffin is because sometimes it is hard to get wax out of the molds. And what paraffin does is it shrinks. So it makes it easier to get out of molds. And it keeps its shape. Cynthia, you got a kit, right?
It said that it will arrive tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Okay, okay. In the kit, there's going to be some there's going to be some tins. I put eight of the 5-inch tins, and then for your pies, and then 3 extra if you want to use them for the wax, and then one of the really big ones. So let me show you what you're going to be doing with the tins. All right, for the 8-inch pie, we're going to be using zinc core 513218. I'm not using the large ones because it's not very tall. I think, but since you're using 5 wicks, you can go with the 44s as well. Either way, either of them work just fine.
Now you said those are 51s.
51s, yeah. All right, and I clipped those about 4 or 5 inches. I clipped those about 4 or 5 inches so they stand up better. And I'm going to be using soy, and that one's going to be. Sorry, I'm just figuring out what fragrance I want to use. Yep, this is apple. I guess it's going to be apple. So you want to fill it up with soy. I like to use 6006, but you can use any of the 3 types of waxes that you want. There's pros and cons to all 3 of them. If you do just paraffin, you'll get a much better hot and cold throw. But it burns really hot, and the wicks go through them super quick. since it's not very tall. I don't like using just soy. Well, I mean, you can use just soy, which is totally fine, because you're putting a 8-inch pie crust on it, and nobody's going to be seeing the frost. So you can do 415. You can do any soy. Soy you can put 10% in, and fragrance, and then the reason why I like 6006 is you can also put. You can only put like 6 to 8% of fragrance oil into paraffins, 10% into soys, but 6006, which is a blend of paraffin and soy, you can actually still use 10% for 6006, and you get a really good cold throw, you get a really good hot throw. It is super, super soft, so I wouldn't recommend using 6006 if you're shipping a very long distance or letting them sit out in the hot sun. But yeah, yeah. If you're shipping long distances and it's hot, then you want to use more paraffin. But I like to use the combination. This is my 6006. I ran out of soy, so I'm going to use 6006. All right, so on the 8-inch pie, you're filling it up all the way to the top. My table's not even. I gotta set something on this.
So you have two kinds of soy wax there. The 6006 and
6006 is my blend,
okay.
and this is my 444.
Oh, okay.
So I have 3 pots here. I have my soy, I have my 6006, and I have my paraffin.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I have that. My table's not even, so I gotta put this little paper towel underneath so I can get all the way up to the top. And I mean, you literally want to go all the way up to the top because of the next step on the gel wax. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be letting this cool. As soon as it's cool and hard, we're going to be putting gel wax on it, and we're putting gel wax all the way to the edge. And then as soon as we pour the gel wax, we immediately put the pie crust onto the gel wax and press it into the gel wax, so the gel wax kind of melds into the bottom of the crust and keeps it nice and secure on the top. And then we do gel wax on the top. So zippers. I cut these about 4 inches. And the places on the 8-inch pie that you want to place the wicks is right here, 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 and then any of these 4. Yeah, you don't want to put it right in the center because if you look at the crust, it's like a little offset. So you can pick any one of them. If you, whatever side that you pick, you want to move the wicks on that side up a little bit so they're not so close to the other wick. The melt pool on the 51, 32, 18 is right around 2 inches. So you can measure in between if you want to get exact melt pools. All right, that's done for now. After it cools, you'll get something like this. And the reason I have this is because I couldn't finish this yesterday. But yeah, so this one's actually cherry. So I'm going to be heating up my um, gel wax. And then once I heat up my gel wax, I'm going to tell you the temperatures and all that stuff. But once I do that, I'm going to show you how to paint the crust. And the emeralds. All right, I ran out of the whipped cream ice cream bucket, and so I just put some more Michael's wax in for that. Oh, I already set it up. So it's a good idea to get these Tupperware things. So when you're doing pies and you have leftover wax, you just put them in here, and it's super, super easy to get it out. I really like working with gel wax because it's like working with Jello. So because you have those Tupperwares and you're saving them for the future, you don't really have to measure as much. You know, if you're using 8 ounces, 8 ounces of gel wax in a pie, you don't have to measure out exactly 8 ounces because you're just gonna put it in this later and make it for the next pie. All right. I think that's a little too bright. Mm. Yeah. So you want to heat the gel wax up to 190 and not want to use a double broiler for gel wax. You just want to do it straight on the heat. It's like right in the way. Straight on the heat. You can put some aluminum foil on here to protect. I just get these little tiny hot plates from the dollar store. They work perfect. Whenever you get the hot plates, it's a good idea to stay around two. Yeah, about two. Keep it really low. Flash point on gel wax is like 420. It does heat up super, super, super fast. So if you have it on medium or high, it will. But good thing about gel wax is it has a warning system. About 280, 290, it starts smoking. So that's your warning system saying, hey, turn me down. All right, well, let's go on. I'm going to show you how to paint some pack rails. I made this today. My little art kit. My little art kit. I got all my paint brushes, all my dyes and everything. So on the crust, what you'll need is 2 to 3. You only need one paintbrush, but I use 2 to 3 just because you can do different visuals. I'll explain as soon as I get this out of the way. This is the look that we're trying to get. Where am I going to put this? All right, so when you're painting your crusts, it really doesn't matter if you have like a light color like this or a tan color or it's dark, doesn't matter because you're going to be painting them. You want to start out with a large brush and a container for your yellow and a container for your brown and then a container to mix it in. So you want to dip your brush into the yellow and put it into the mixing container. Then you want to get a skewer or something very, very small. Extremely small. You want to use something small. You can use a wooden skewer, you can use a pencil, whatever. But the idea is just to get a little tiny, tiny bit of brown and mix it in. The hardest part about this process is getting the right color, which is why I've been looking for an actual amber color, but I have not found one yet that I like. All right, so once you have, I usually have like a tester that I test the colors on. And it's a little dark, but that's okay because you can always thin it out by using this. So if you get some paper towels, you'll be needing the paper towels to wipe the paintbrushes off on to thin out if you're ever in a situation where it's too dark and you need to thin it out. Just use your paper towels. And it's always good to keep the same paper towels. I know a lot of people will have the urge to throw it away because it looks nasty, but once you get the right color and you start wiping off on that paper towel is going to have that perfect color. So then, like in the future, then all you have to do is take your brush, just go a little tiny bit on your paper towel, and let's say you don't have any mixed up, then you can just use it off the paper towel and you already have the perfect color. I start out with edges. And then I take my brush and I poke at the tips in the middle. And then you want to take a super, super clean brush. You might want to put this in your notes too. I ran out, but it's a really good idea to put rubber gloves on. Because you get the dye on your hands and like it gets everywhere. All right, so then you want to take a super clean brush that doesn't have any dye on it, or not much at all. And then what you're doing is I'm going to go in 4 lines. I'm going to be brushing like this way, in these grooves in the middle. So I'm going to go 4 ways this way. I'm going to turn it, and then I'm going to do 4 ways this way. And I'm taking the brush, and I'm just barely, barely, barely touching the crust. And you want to do broad strokes back and forth, and that way what you're doing is you're spreading it out on the tips, and then in the little dips in here, they stay a lighter color. Which is why I like to do the tan color, the original tan color from the get-go, because I don't touch it in here, and if it's too light, it doesn't look right. But that tan color looks really good on the spots that you don't get. All right, turn it. If your brush is too big, you can always get a smaller one, which I have, and get in those little nooks and crannies. All right, so as you can see, it's really dark here and then not so dark here. And in order to thin that out and blend it, you take your brush that doesn't have very much dye on it, and you go in the middle of the dark and the light and blend it in. All right, now you take a really tiny, tiny, tiny brush. Usually I do this at the end, but I want to show you guys while I have the dye out, because as soon as I put this away, I'm not getting it back out. But you want to take a little tiny, tiny, tiny brush, dip it in straight, just the brown. Get the excess dye off. And then do some highlights on the very, very tips. Whatever part is like at the most top, that's what you're doing the highlights on. Okay. And then you'll want to blend it with your clean brush. And you don't want to go blend too much because then you're kind of getting rid of the highlights. All you're doing here is making it not so sharp. Um, kind of blending it just a little tiny bit so it doesn't look like you got little polka dots on there. And then you paint a happy little tree here and a happy little tree there. That was my Bob Ross. All right. And then you have a very, very beautiful multicolored pie crust that looks like it just came out of the oven. And then when you mix it with the vanilla and the cinnamon and the apple and the real cinnamon, oh my goodness, it's just to die for. All right, so that is how you paint the crust. And you do that for all the crusts. The only difference is on these, what you're going to be doing is on the inside, you're going to be taking your brush and going around the edge, around the top, like this. You do not want to go along with the grooves because we want to keep the grooves a lighter color than these points right here. So you're going to be running the brush along it. So, and then after you go around the rim here, see that line right there? You do not want to put dye in here because that's where you're going to be putting your pie filling, and the dye is going to mix with the hot wax that you put in and discolor your pie dye or your pie crust or your pie filling. And then the good spots to highlight on this one is just right there on these little ridges on the outside, not on the inside, but on the outside. Those are the good spots for the highlights, and then you just blend it with your clean brush. And I also do the outside of this because a lot of people do not like the tins. They kind of look cheap. So what they do is they'll take them out of the tins and then put them on. This is what I suggest to customers all the time is they'll put them on these little plates, and you can get these at the dollar store. They're little candle holders, and they look awesome when you put the pies on the little glass plates. They have these little knobs at the bottom, so if the wax runs over, it's okay. It's actually an actual candle holder, so these are like perfect. So if they take them out of the tins, then this part of the crust looks like a real crust too.
Yeah. Good idea.
All right. Let's take a 5-minute break, get a drink, go to the bathroom, smoke them if you got them, and then I'm gonna put all my dye away and get cleaned up. I use rubbing alcohol to get the dye off. Works pretty good. Welcome back.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Are you fine?
I have a quick question for you.
Yeah.
If I wanted to make you know the lemon meringue pies?
Yeah.
The crusts are made of like graham crackers, all smushed together. Would I be able to do that with the crumble?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. I need to print out my checklist because I was supposed to start that and show you guys. I will do that now. I shall do that now. All right. The crumble that you're gonna be doing, or the wax that you're gonna be doing for the crumble is straight paraffin, unrefined.
The same as the embeds?
Yes. And to get a realistic color,
Okay.
what I do is I do a kind of like a cream, darker brown, and then I do a really light color, and then I mix it.
Okay.
I mix it together so you get kind of like a dark piano light, and I like the look of that. If you get too dark, I really don't like the look of crumble if it's too dark. So that's why I like to keep it like super, super light. All right, so what you're gonna be doing is in a Tupperware thing, just pour straight paraffin, unrefined. And I actually use the wax that I use for my crust. So I have a container that is like 85%. This container for my crust, I label it crust.
Okay.
But I have 85% paraffin and 15% of soy, and that's what I use for my crusts. You can do a little bit more soy if you want. If you want to get a more creamy texture. But that's what I use. And since I use so much paraffin, I use that just my crust, and it's the same color that I want for my stuff. So that's the wax that I use. And then I also sent it with the same thing, the cinnamon vanilla. It actually comes in 1 cent as cinnamon vanilla. All right, so then once you got it poured, you're just gonna wait until the top solidifies into a film. Once it solidifies into a film, then you start forking it. It's actually easier if you start with some crumbles already in there. So what you do is, if you're running low on crumble, about halfway is when I like to add just a little tiny bit of paraffin. I'll just keep adding just a little tiny bit because it speeds up the cooling process. So you just put a little tiny bit in with the already made crumbles, and then you can immediately start forking it. So you don't have to wait until it gets until it cools down. And it's literally almost ready. Like I just poured it and it's almost ready.
Okay.
And then one tip is, one good tip is to fork it until it is completely cool. Because if it's warm just a little tiny bit, and you go to bed, you'll wake up, and this will be like hard as a rock. It'll be all solid. It won't be like the actual crumbles that you want for the pies. And that's another thing is if your crumbles are too small, you can add more paraffin to it and it sticks to the crumbles and makes them larger. So, and you don't want to like fork it too hard. You actually want like the big crumbles and the small. So you want a mixture of both.
Right.
But yeah. So in order to do the crumble, this one's not finished because I didn't get time yesterday either. All right. So this is the crumble crust. And I'm only halfway finished. What I did was I took the crumble while it was warm, and I'll show you on a low one. And then I take the crumble, I just put it in there while it's warm, and then kind of move it around to the edges. And then you can actually, while it's warm, you can actually treat it just like a real graham cracker crust.
Okay.
So, I mean, you don't want to press it too hard or you're going to lose your crumble look. But you do want to press it up against the edges. And all you're doing is, when you're making the crumble crust, all you're doing is you're making the outside of the edge here look good. You don't have to make the middle look good because you're putting stuff in it. So as long as the edges look good, you're fine. You're good to go. You can even have little tiny like open spots in the bottom. It doesn't even matter.
Okay.
And keep like nudging it up until it's like all up at the height that you want it. And then once it's all at the height that you want it, then you just take your hand, cup it, and then you just lightly press it into place.
Okay.
Even if it's not high enough, that's fine. And I'll show you on this one. I'm gonna finish this one. If it's not high enough and you got little spots where it's not all the way up to the top, go ahead and pour, which I did yesterday. I poured paraffin wax and 20%, yeah, it was about 15% of soy, same as my crust. I poured that in there. This one is, I put the fragrance in there. It's 8% of hot apple pie. Since I have a lot of paraffin, I just use the 8%. I poured that into the crumble and I let it harden. And then now I can add more crumble and it'll be a lot easier to finish off the edges.
Okay.
All right, let me show you real quick. Oh, uh-oh, my warning. My warning just went off. Whew. It's smoking. Okay, I got wax on the actual burner, so I'm gonna get some aluminum foil. Oh, I know what I do. I know exactly what I'll do. I usually put like a pan or something on these, a metal pan, something with an edge so the wax doesn't like go off. That's a good idea. All right, so my gel wax is done. You want to heat it up. It'll be super, super thin and look like water. And it'll be extremely too hot no matter what temperature you heat it up at. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna put it on one of these little burners and let it cool down. You're gonna be letting it cool down to about 190. I don't go by temperature, I go by feel. And when it looks like corn syrup instead of water, that's when I know it's ready. The key to pouring gel wax on pies is to get it as cool as you can with still being able to pour it. So the thicker it is, the cooler it is, and right about like 180, 185 is when it starts to look like really, really thick corn syrup, and that's when you want to pour it. Once you have experience in pouring the gel wax, you'll kind of get a feel of when you can, how long you can wait. You just wait longer and longer and longer each time, and then at one point you're gonna wait too long and not gonna be able to pour it, and then you're gonna be like, oh, okay, yeah. So I wait this long and this consistency, and yeah. This one's gonna be an apple crisp. So let me show you real quick how to take an apple. So you'll need a medium size brush. Same exact die that you used for the crusts. And then you want to do the corners first. The very, very tips of the corners, you want to get a lot darker than the rest. On the face of it, I do the corners first again. And you have a cooked apple. Let me show you real quick what it's supposed to look like. And you can actually do the same thing you did with the cross. Go back with a really tiny brush and go to directly to brown and do like little like highlights here and there, and I will actually show you. Oops. All right, so this is what it looks like. You guys can see this? Am I sharing the right screen?
Yeah.
Okay. This is what it's supposed to look like at the end. And on the apples, as you can see, it's like almost the exact same color as the crust.
Yeah.
And then like this part right here, can you see my mouse or no?
Yes, we can.
Okay. This part right here, I went back with a little tiny brush with all brown and just did like little dots here and there.
Okay.
I did like this at the end, did this at the end. You can actually even poke your gel wax with the same brush, the brown brush,
Okay.
to get little imperfections in the gel wax to make it look more realistic as well.
Cool.
You can take also you can take your fingernail and do like little grooves on the outsides, and then when you do broad brush strokes with the brown dye, it actually settles into the little grooves and get those little marks, which I actually think it looks even better.
Yeah. Mm.
But yeah, that's what it's supposed to look like at the end.
Okay.
And I showed you that because my website or my webcam absolutely sucks. All right, so that's how you paint an apple. And then let's see.
Sure.
All right, I'll work on that a little bit. So you can tell, I don't know if it'll show this or not, but you can tell if your gel wax is cool enough just by looking at it. If it looks like water and you can't touch this with your hand, it's too hot.
Okay.
If it looks like corn syrup, really thick corn syrup, then it's ready. All right, that's still going. I do have, oh yeah, my peach gel. My peach gel is ready. So on the ice creams, when you're putting them in the mold, midway through, you want to put a wooden skewer in the middle,
Mm-hmm.
so you have a hole in the ice creams for the wicks. And let's see. I have to pour some soy wax. That's paraffin. I'm going to use some paraffin. So when you're pouring into the crust, you want to pour slow, and you don't want to pour directly into one spot, because if you pour into one spot, it'll concentrate the heat into that one spot and burn a hole through your crust. (6006) is the best wax to put for your pie filling. It looks the best and gives the best throw, but it's soft and has a really low. It has a lower melt point than paraffin, so you have to be careful on shipping. And then once you pour it, at 5 inches, I use the Eco 2. I do 2 wicks. Usually cut them (4 to 5 inches). And when you're placing them, you want to go 1 inch that way, 1 inch that way. And then you can either put ice cream in the middle, you can put ice cream on each one of these. If you are doing one really big whipped cream dollop, then I would go to an Eco 4 and do it right down the middle. And when you're doing the dollop, this is what it'll look like. So I put the skewer in there mid cool. And I split my cupcake molds. Sometimes I split them on both sides and then rubber band. Sometimes I just split on one. Depends on how hard it is to get out. And I actually use putting that skewer in there kind of helps, because you can grab the skewer and pull it out by the skewer.
Okay.
And then I will, guess what? I'm going to show you something new. Something new I found out the other day.
Huh?
All right. I don't know if you guys saw the pictures of my half and half Miami Vices, the half pina colada, half strawberry daiquiris.
Yeah.
On DIY.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a whole big line of them. I did like 15 of them.
Yeah.
But I found out how to do half and half dollops without having to do half and half in the mold.
Really?
Yes. So all you have to do is put soy wax into a tin, put whatever color you want, right? Keep the dollop on your skewer, and then dip it in. That's all you gotta do.
And voila.
And voila, you got a half and half dollop.
Okay.
I was doing it the hard way for 2 years.
Well, you learn every day.
And then another thing, if you have imperfections, let's say it didn't come out of the mold very well. And this is actually how I figured out how to do this, but it didn't come out of the mold very well, and I had like a whole bunch of spots where it didn't look very good. So what I did was I took it and I dipped it into my whipped cream.
Okay.
Not real whipped cream. My whipped cream, my Michael's wax. I dipped it into that, and then it came out, and it looked like super creamy, and it looked really good. I really like it when you dip it. So actually, I'm gonna actually implement that into my sundaes and ice cream and desserts class.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm gonna do a mold of an ice cream cone and do the dipped chocolate ice cream cones with the nuts.
Yeah.
Yes, it's gonna be perfect. It's gonna be like a Dairy Queen. It's gonna look exactly like a Dairy Queen treat.
Yes.
But yeah, that's gonna be awesome. But this is what it looks like. So then it's gonna be really hard to get it out without crushing the outsides um, of the dollop. So that's why I have on the list pliers on the supply list. So you take the pliers and all you gotta do is twist it halfway and then pull.
Okay.
And then it's ready to be put on your pie. And this is the reason why I do an Eco 4 in the middle instead of 2 wicks, because it doesn't look very good. It doesn't, and it doesn't fit in between them. You'd actually have to put holes like right here into the dollop for a 2-wick to work. So I know it's not efficient and it doesn't burn very well, but I like to do the Eco 4 in the middle and then tell my customers after you burn and then after it stops, after you put it out and after it cools, what you do is you break off the outer edges and put it inside the middle.
Okay.
And then let it burn. That'll lengthen the life of your candle. But yeah. All right. So when you're placing embeds, this is still warm to the touch. It has a film on the top, and this is the perfect, absolute perfect time to put your dye on and put your embeds on. So what you do is, if you forget to put your dye in, like I did, you can put it on top and then use your heat gun to spread it. For the dye blocks, I just use a pocket knife and scrape it off. I'm using brown because this is going to be apple. And then you take your heat gun put it on low, and you want to come down straight into it. That way your dye doesn't fly out of your pie. If you do your heat gun too much, then you'll have to retouch up your crust. Yeah. All right. So while it's still warm, that's when you put your embeds in, and it looks like your apples are coming out of the pie when you do that, and not just sitting on top. And if you put it on top and you like push down, very slowly, you'll get like this this lump right next to it. And it really looks good because it looks like the apple's actually imprinted into the pie.
Okay.
You can do little designs or do it random. Yes, create. That's what this is a fun part for me. I love creating like new designs, and not every pie is the same. I love making my pies different each time. And it's a little bit too light color for me, so I'm just gonna put a little bit more brown dye on top. Ah. Okay. All right. At this point right here, if I'm doing an apple pie, I will put my real cinnamon on. And what you want to do is you want to be careful when you're doing the cinnamon to not put the cinnamon right by the wick, because you'll get this this black smoke, this carbon emission off of the if it's in the direct flame, it'll like crackle and smoke a little bit. So I just do around the wick. I never shake it right on top. I always put it in my hand and then pinch it on, because you don't need that much. So when somebody burns it and it goes through the gel wax and it's on the pie filling, and by that time they'll have a nice melt pool, and the cinnamon will just like meld into the melt pool and give off this authentic, real cinnamon smell along with the hot apple pie and the vanilla, and it's like so good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now we want to definitely let this set all the way before we put the gel on. Okay. All right, so I have a cherry pie that I made yesterday. This is I kind of like marbled the top of the pie filling. This is actually 6006 that I use. So it has a really, really good cold throw. But I'm gonna put this one in the middle here, and then put some cherries here. I'll show you a little trick on the embeds. A lot of times when you're using straight paraffin for embeds, you'll get this white ash on when you get them out of the mold. You'll
Yeah.
have like a white ash, and it never happens the first time you use the mold. It always happens the second time because whenever you use wax in a mold, it leaves a film, and that film will get on the next time, get on the next batch that you do. So, and it's unavoidable. You will go nuts cleaning your molds, trying to get rid of it, and you'll never get rid of it. This is a very, very good way to get rid of it, but you do it with your heat gun. All right, so you have your, there's different techniques for each and every fruit. Like for the cherry, it's high heat and you want to like melt off totally the whole top layer of the cherry. Not in one spot. You want to get the whole cherry. And then as soon as you see like the whole cherry is wet, that's when you stop and you immediately grab it and start working it with your fingers. And then what happens is the oil from your hands and the wax that you've been working with actually shines it up. And then once it cools down, you want to stop rubbing it with your fingers because you'll just dull. It'll actually do the opposite of what you're doing when it's warm. You'll make it really dull. But yeah, now you have a super shiny, good looking cherry. On the that's because the cherry has a really smooth edge. All right. Now the embeds that have like little indents, like strawberries. Strawberries have those little tiny indents.
Yeah.
You can't melt off the top, and because then you'll get rid of the indents and it won't look like a strawberry anymore. So then on the strawberries you have to go like on low heat and just dab the heat and then work it with your finger. Dab the heat, work it with your finger. Dab the heat, and then work it with your finger until you get the desired look and get rid of that ash. Cherries, you can get rid of like the little bubbles, the little pitting that you get with paraffin. Strawberries, you can't. You can get rid of the ash, but you can't get rid of the bubbles. Blueberries, you want to do it like strawberries because they have that. The only distinctive thing that you have on blueberries is that one little tiny dot on the end.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you didn't have that little tiny dot, they just look like just a little tiny round marble. It won't even look like blueberries. So when you're shining these up, you just want to be careful. And then also the gel wax. The gel wax on the round embeds actually look better if you cover all of it. The cherries and the blueberries, the raspberries, they all look better if you totally cover the embed with the gel wax. The strawberries, the apples, the peaches, the ones that you're hand painting, those are the ones that you don't want to cover with gel wax. And all you want to do is, you can tell when you have the gel wax really thick, you can actually control the thickness of the stream that's coming down, depending on how much you're pouring at a time. So when you're going over the embed, you just want to have this little tiny stream, and you just want to like weave in and out, and that's it. That way, when you're done, you're showcasing all the stuff that you did. The cherries, you're not painting, so you just want to cover it, and it actually, the best feature about this is that it's shiny, and the gel wax is really good at making things extra shiny. Now, since I've had a ton of orders, I ran out of actual paraffin. So these right here, these cherries are actually out of my Michael's refined paraffin. And like I said earlier, Michael's, the refined paraffin doesn't hold color. I put the same amount of red in this and this, and this one's pink, and this one's like, it doesn't seem like it on the camera, but this is like a really dark red. This is a pink. I don't like it. It works just fine as a wax and in your candle, but I don't like it because it doesn't look aesthetically pleasing. All right, so my cherry gel has been sitting and cooling for a while. And as you can see, it looks like syrup.
Yeah.
And I'm able to touch the pot. And so, okay, it's ready. I just go by feel. I don't go by temperature. And since these are cherries, I like to cover the whole cherries. And I actually don't, I did this on purpose. I don't like to get like little strings on the ice cream because after about 3 weeks, gel wax tends to get dull and is very, very easy to dislodge and displace.
Okay.
So when your customer is using this putting this on display, it's very easy for the little tiny dribbles to get messed up. And gel wax cools very, 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 very quickly. And it's very easy to fix gel wax. You just take it and pull it off with your hand. All right. So I only have one step left, and that's the melted ice cream on that. When you're doing melted ice cream, you only need a little tiny, tiny, tiny bit. So what I normally do is I use my Michael's wax, and whatever container that I had it in, I usually put it in a tin, and I always use this for my melted ice cream because all I have to do is use my heat gun and just liquefy the top of this, and that's all I need. I usually have a pot dedicated just for whipped cream and ice cream. That way I can scent it with 10% or no, 8% of buttercream.
Yeah.
Buttercream smells exactly like ice cream. The Aztec buttercream. I don't know about anybody else's. But yeah, that's how I do the melted ice cream. And this is the easiest and fastest way to do it. If you are using a tin and you're using your heat gun, the tins heat up super, super fast. You want to use some paper towels or something because you're going to burn your fingers. All right, and then I usually like to do prongs. I'll do 3 prongs. I do 1 prong this way, 1 prong this way, and 1 more prong this way. And I usually do that method for all my ice creams. It has like a random feel to it. Okay. And you definitely don't want to put too much, or you're going to cover all your gel.
Okay.
Sometimes if your gel's super hot when you pour it, you want to wait until it sets because the ice cream will actually fuse into the gel and not look as good. While I have my cherry liquid, I'm going to do this real quick. So when you're doing the 8-inch pies, you want to do the gel all the way around the edge. You want to cover this whole thing. It's okay if it drips off. As soon as you've covered the whole thing, you want to immediately put the crust on. The only reason this is multicolor is because I'm doing the class and I don't want to wait for another batch of cherry gel to heat up. If you mess up, you can always pull this off and reheat it, and it'll work just fine. Even if it like is, you can tell once you put it on like soy wax or paraffin, it has this like real gooey feel to it. Once you heat it up, it'll act normal again.
Okay.
Come on, Wix. These wicks were poorly placed. All right, so as soon as you immediately put this on, you want to press it down into the gel and hold it for about 10 to 20 seconds. All right. And the reason why you're immediately putting it on is because gel wax cools super fast. And that heat, if you don't have that heat and it doesn't meld to the bottom of the crust, um, if it gets tilted or anything, the crust will actually fall off. You don't want a crust falling off in the middle of the market. That would be bad. You can do big cherries. I have an option on my site. You can do Bing cherries or small cherries. Small cherries fit the best, but I don't know why, but like everybody keeps asking for large cherries instead of small cherries. I don't think it looks as good, but I get more orders for the large cherries than the small ones. Nope. My gel wax already cooled, so the cherries are actually sitting on top of the gel. The ideal situation is having your wax warm enough to where you can push the cherries into the gel just a little tiny bit, and it makes it look like it's setting, like some of them are in the pie and some of them are on top of the pie. Just gives it a more realistic touch. As soon as your cherries are on there, you want to take your gel wax, your cherry your cherry gel wax, not your peach gel wax, not this gel wax, but your cherry gel wax. And then you cover the cherries. And then what I like to do is I will pour it off this corner, pour it off this corner, this corner, and this corner. I'm gonna burn this tonight. I want to see what Georgia peach and cherry smells like. I bet you actually, I love both of them. Georgia peach is one of my all-time favorite scents. I love Georgia peach. All right. And there you have your cherry pie. It's finished. I'm gonna get some of this apple going so I can do the rest of this crisp, and then I'm also gonna show you something. I'm gonna finish the other pies. They're ready. They're set up. Okay. Oh, let me show you a little trick, both of you guys. So this this hot plate has a pancake grill on it.
Yeah.
The reason why I have a pancake grill on it is because I use these tins. If I'm making like five different types of pies, and I only want to use one pot,
Okay.
then I'm gonna put 5 tins out, and I'm gonna put the fragrance and dyes in the tin, not the pot. And then because I have 5 tins, I can't do them all at the same time. I just put the tin on the pancake thing, and it keeps it warm.
Oh, good idea.
I can put up to 4 on this, so yeah. I like that. Just a little trick.
Yeah. Good to know.
Okay. All right, so this one's ready for the gel. I didn't paint those apples, but I knew I was gonna have these apples in there, and this one's gonna be crisp, like a cobbler. So what you do with the cobbler is you want to put the cobbler on the top. Spread it around and make sure your apples are visible. And then we're going to be doing our gel wax, our apple pie gel wax. I'm getting it off the burner, just one sec. And this time, yeah, well, okay, so on the lattice crust, it is important that you let the wax cool down because on the lattice crust, you have that die that you're going to be pouring the wax straight on, the crust and the die. On these, you're not pouring the gel wax straight onto the crust, so it doesn't matter as much, so you can pour it a little bit hotter for these. And especially if you have crumble, the hotter it is, the more it, ooh, that's hot. Yeah, the crumble, the hotter it is, the more it like solidifies and makes sure all the crumble stays in place. And you have to do 2 layers of crumbles, one before the gel wax, one after. Because especially if you do it hot, it's gonna melt your crumble to where it doesn't look like crumble, especially the little tiny pieces. So on the second time, I'm gonna do more of the smaller pieces. All right, so we got a little crumble, and then cinnamon. Apple crisp is not apple crisp without cinnamon. And like I said before, put it in your hand, get a little pinch, keep it away from the wicks. All you need is just a little tiny, tiny, tiny bit. And then clip your wicks at 1/4 of an inch. You can do your wicks 2 ways. You can do clip it 1/4 of an inch for your customer. A lot of customers don't know how to clip their wicks. Or since you're doing food candles, a lot of people that do food candles like to do the little curly cues.
Yeah.
And how to get the curly cues is when you place the wicks, you want to wrap them around your wooden skewer.
Mm-hmm.
Wrap them all the way around, and then just keep it there for a second, and then pull your skewer out, and you have the little curly cues.
Okay.
But I don't do that. My customers, I know I don't have faith in my customers. Most of my customers don't want to deal with clipping the wicks, so I just clip them. I clip them for them because I'm just that nice of a guy.
And everybody has burned them correctly so far?
Yeah, I haven't
Okay.
had any complaints.
Good.
I've maintained a 5-star review on Etsy and my Facebook
Good.
for 2 years.
Yay.
I don't think it's ready. Maybe it's ready. Almost, but I have about like 2 minutes on that. I usually, oh, very important when you're painting the crusts and the embeds.
Yeah.
The crust and the embeds, the dye, it takes like 2 to 3 days to cure.
Okay.
So you want to plan that ahead of time, and I usually have a whole bunch made up. I usually I have like 5 pounds of apples and peaches all made up, and that thing right there is usually filled up with crusts.
Oh, okay.
But I'm out of everything.
Oh, poor baby. You're gonna have to just put yourself out there again.
I'm out of everything. It's wearing me out. This really is wearing me out, though.
But it's best to know that you're out of everything. That means it's working great.
Yes. Oh,
Okay, how long does it take for when your pie is there before shipping them, when they're done for it to cure, to say that you could ship them or give it to a customer? Do you have to wait for it does?
you can do it right away because the way I package them, they cure while they're on their way.
Okay.
So what you do is you get wax paper. You can get just normal wax paper at the dollar store, or you can be a high roller like me and go to webrestaurantstore.com and get them wholesale, and I get like this really huge box. And I just started doing this. They have these individual sheets of wax paper. And I actually got them because I got tired of my tables looking like crap, and I needed something to protect my tables. So I just got a bunch of these, and I was like, wait a minute, I can use these for packaging. So that's what I did. You get the, I'll show you how to package this and not have any problems.
Okay. Oh, wow.
So I wrapped this up yesterday.
Wow.
The pie that I did yesterday.
Okay.
And it's like perfect. All the gel's in place. Everything's perfect.
Yeah.
So what you do is you take the wax paper, put it in the middle. Take one side, wrap it around to the edge. Hold on. My camera just fell off. Getting dizzy yet?
No.
Alright, so you take this. Alright, and then what you do is, for the excess on the sides is One side you go under, the other side you go over. That way you have padding on both sides. These cool window boxes that you can get at webrestaurantstore.com. They're 6x6x3.
Okay.
And you put the pie in here, and this is another reason why I like to get these really big sheets is the more wax paper you have in here, the more it stays in place inside the box.
Okay.
And I love these boxes. They're so easy to pop out. And then you definitely want to clean your hands before using white boxes, because then you'll get dye all over the boxes. But yeah, that's how you package them. I have my little sticker on there.
Okay.
Oh, and then I do peanuts. And then one idea that I got from DIY is I scent my peanuts now with Southern pecan.
No.
Yeah, I put little drops of Southern pecan in my my peanuts, and I mix it up. So then when somebody opens the box, they smell like a pecan pie.
Wow. Wow.
I got some really good compliments on that.
That's a, yeah. Wow. Okay.
Hey. Whew. Second wind. I need a second wind. I don't have any apples. That's my problem. I can't finish my apple pie. But for the apple, the crumble, what I would do with this is I would put, I don't have any apples, so I can't show you. I put apples around in the middle, and then I would do cinnamon, a couple ice cream, do the gel wax, and then the melted ice cream, or yeah, the melted ice cream on top of the gel wax, and then prong it, and you're good. I think that covers, yeah, everything. Covers everything. I covered the cobblers. I covered the 8-inch pie. I covered the 5-inch pie. The open crimps, and yeah, I covered everything. Anything on this?
I have a question that's not related to that.
Okay.
On your cupcakes, can I make the small, just the cupcake bottom, and then later put the ice cream or the dollops later on?
Yeah. The best way to do that is to get
Or does that have to be done all at once?
Nah.
Nah.
They're just.
She has 2 sisters.
I just rearranged. Yeah, I just rearranged my everything. So I don't know where I put mine, but they're little silicone baking cups. Yeah, you just get those, and you do the bottom, and then what you can do is you can put the melted ice cream first, put the dollop or the ice cream onto the melted ice cream.
Okay.
Do the heat gun around.
Okay.
A couple swipes. you'll already have holes in them because you'll poke the skewers in them when they're mid-worn. So then you do your wick
Okay,
and
great.
whatever toppings. Oh, if you are wanting the 5-inch lattice silicone mold, all you have to do is get the large custom rectangle one on the website and ask in the customization 5-inch lattice, and I can do it with that amount of silicone. It's like 16 to 17 ounces for this, and
Good.
it's exactly the same as the large custom, so I can do that.
Great.
You got any questions, Cynthia?
No, I'm just a looker.
You got your kit coming tomorrow. You feel confident you can make some pies?
I've made some before, but like my daughter was saying, I don't think that I was doing them right. They were burning fast. I had the zinc. So I kind of like just put the pies to the side, and now, with your information and your direction, I feel I can go in and do them a little bit better.
Very nice, very nice. You're a part of my the Kennel Chef Academy group?
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. When you get done with your pies, I definitely want to see your creations.
Okay.
Especially since you did pies before. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. No questions.
I covered shipping, boxes. Oh, pirate ship is the best way to ship in the States. I don't know. Oh, yeah. I don't know about Canada. I don't know about Canada.
Don't worry about it. When it gets there, I'll find out.
And then I'll get your message and I'll add that up to your order. Have I sent you a final order yet?
I paid for an order, yeah, but I haven't had the,
No, all the additional ones. Did I send you the actual order yet?
no,
Okay, I'll do that.
okay.
I shall do that. I know I got it written down. All the molds that you currently want. Not the one that you added today, but I have all those down. So
Okay.
I'll just put that in a custom invoice for you.
Okay, great.
All right, guys. I had fun today. It was nice to meet you guys.
Have you thought about making a cake course?
Yes. Everybody who on the 30th. Are you going to be available on the 30th
30th for what?
this month?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that a bundt cake or just a regular cake?
Something special. Guess what I'm making?
Cheesecake.
Anti-gravity cake. And I'm going to teach you guys how to do an anti-gravity cake.
Okay.
And everybody who got into a class this month gets to go into that class free.
Yay.
So if you had any class this month, you get to go into the anti-gravity cake class for free.
Good.
And I will show you a picture of a anti-gravity cake, not the one I'm going to be doing, but it's a anti-gravity cake. Just to show you an idea of what it's going to look like.
But will you be making a course on normal cheesecakes, ordinary cakes?
Yes, I'm adding that to September. Yes.
You will?
Yeah, I'm adding cheesecakes. I'm adding regular cakes. Actually, I'm doing this special anti-gravity cake for free this month, and then next month I'm gonna do a whole line. It's gonna be at the end of the month, a whole line of birthday cakes.
Yay.
With like happy birthday, actual happy birthday letters, I'm gonna do cakes with ribbons that make the cake look like presents.
Okay.
Whole bunch of, oh, I'm gonna do mini cakes,
Okay.
all that stuff. So the mini cakes and the big cakes will all be in the cake class.
Will we have to sign up to register for all the courses of the month? Because I've already taken all of them, except for the Sunday one.
No, you don't have to do the VIP. You can do the individual classes. Each class is $25.
Okay, no, mate, for the cakes, because that would be the finishing all the ones that I've made so far.
Yeah, because I have 4. Yeah, you'll have next month. You're gonna already be done with 4 of the classes.
Yeah, okay, so I'll look on the site to see when you put that up.
That one I'm not gonna announce for until about Wednesday.
Okay, good.
But yeah, these are the anti-gravity cakes.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be cool. I'm actually gonna use I don't know which one I'm gonna use, but I want to do a candy one.
All of them.
What do you guys think? What
All
candy
of
do
them.
you guys want to see?
All of them.
Do like a mixture between like a whole bunch of candies coming out? Here's one. Here's a mixture.
No,
No,
not for me.
that one's kind of cool.
Oh,
Right
yes. Yeah, that one.
M&Ms.
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
And I actually can do that. I can do that top. I can do these. I can do everything in that. I can do.
Oh, yay. I'll be there for that one.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll do this one.
You agree, Cynthia?
Yes.
Yeah. Good. Great.
Yeah, I'll do this one.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool. Great.
All right, guys. I'm exhausted and I have so many orders to do. I'm probably going to be working until about 2, 3 in the morning. And then shipping a whole bunch of stuff out tomorrow. If you guys don't have any questions, okay, if you do have any questions, feel free to message me on Facebook, and I will help you any way you can, any way I can. Especially, Susan, you know I'm gonna be there with you. But Cynthia, when you get your kit and you actually start doing your pods and you need help, let me know. Best way to get a hold of me is through my Facebook Messenger.
Okay.
Have
Bye,
a nice
guys.
evening. Bye. Bye,
Thank
Cynthia.
you. Bye.